Well, obviously, it was a very eventful 18 hours. It was a rocky road there for several hours. We got a restraining order approximately 1:30 a.m. this morning with a lot of hard work and stick-to-itiveness, if you will. And we were able to head off a very, very unnecessary malicious raid by our governor's special bingo task force.
Where do you go from here? You have the restraining order. You have 14 days. Well, what's the next step?
You know, it's business as usual. We'll have a grand opening here 15th, 16th, and 17th. We are operating within the perimeters of the law. We're operating within the perimeters of what our constitutional amendment as well as the enabling legislation allows us to do, just as we have from day one, and we're going to continue to operate that way. When we go to the hearing, we feel like we will prevail and we will be vindicated.
It seems like you're doing everything you can. Yesterday you tried to reach out to the task force to meet with them, and they're just not accepting that.
You know, we've tried to reach out on a multitude of times. Yesterday was just one example. I know the county commission wrote a letter several weeks ago asking them, telling them what their position was, inviting them to come down and visit our facility. We've extended invitations for them to come visit our facility. One of the local newspapers here extended an invitation to come down and visit our facility, and on every occasion they have declined. And it's not about doing what's best for the citizens of Alabama with respect to our governor. It's more about spending unnecessary tax dollars to grab major headlines in the newspapers and television media. You know, the fact that we had over 140 state employees, state troopers, ABC officers, ABI officers, in excess of 140 state employees. The TAC force, for Christ's sake, were here with full body armor, automatic machine guns to come in and raid a legitimate bingo facility. As you can see, we're not a flim-flam organization here. This is a well on its way world-class tourist destination point. And the fact of the matter is, last night there was a possibility that about 1,500 people were going to lose their jobs. When we made the announcement last night, there were some 300 plus employees here that all went home. Some went home crying because they didn't know if they would have a job tomorrow. And we feel like that justice will prevail here when we have our hearing. We're confident in that fact. But this further reiterates the fact that we as citizens of Alabama, we as citizens of the Wiregrass need to stand up and be heard. We've got a legislative session before us, and this issue can be solved once and for all. We need our legislators to pass a bill, not that says we're pro-bingo, that simply puts it in front of the citizens of Alabama to vote on it for themselves. The citizens of Houston County have already voted on it. It was ratified in 1994 in overwhelming fashion, I might add. But let's put it to rest once and for all. Let's solidify bingo in the counties that have the bingo amendments in place. Let's impose a tax. Let's regulate it by a statewide gaming commission, and let's limit it. Let's don't expand bingo on every street corner in Houston County or throughout the state of Alabama. What the approach the governor is taking right now is a monopolistic approach in that if he were to prevail, if he were to close us down, if he closes Victoryland down and Green Track in Lowndes County, he's never going to be able to close the Native Americans down. So he's going to create a true monopoly for the Native Americans, which is a non-taxable entity. And that, at the end of the day, is what our governor's agenda is. He's not going to eliminate bingo in Alabama. That's impossible. He doesn't have the jurisdiction. He's lied to our legislators in a white paper letter form, suggesting that when he closes me down, he's going to close down the Native Americans. If he really would like to make a profound statement, go to Atmore, to the facility that you have visited. Unlike ours, he's never came and saw our facility. Go to Atmore and close down Wind Creek, the facility that he admired and said was so beautiful, even with all the bingo machines surrounding him, and close them down. And then I think you'll have a whole new issue of respect within the state of Alabama. Let's quit picking on the private citizens of this state that are creating a greater good for their community. We're not about bingo. You've not seen any advertisement from us that's been bingo oriented. It's all been entertainment oriented. We are going to create a world-class tourist destination point here. We have employed in excess of 1,500 people already, and we anticipate employing over 6,000 people over the next 5 years. You know, our governor right now is on a so-called economic development trip in Pasadena, California, at the expense of Alabama taxpayers, I guess, once again, soliciting from abroad, as we've done so many times over the past few years, bringing in people from other countries to try to get them to come into Alabama to set up shop and create jobs for Alabamians. That's why we're busted. That might be why we're the second fastest growing unemployment state in the United States of America. Look right here at what's under on your front doorstep. Look right here and give us an opportunity to show you what we can do in terms of economic growth and economic development. And you might be surprised. And we do something that's going to be consistent, and it's not going to bolt when all the incentives expire, the tax incentives and the cash incentives that have busted our state coffers for so long now, because we're not asking for anything from our government. We don't need any tax dollars to escalate our project. We just want to be left alone, and we want to be afforded the opportunity to exercise our constitutional right. And that's what we're doing, and we're going to create an expansion of trade and commerce like's never been here before.
How nervous was Ronnie Gilley last night?
You know, we've had every possible hurdle that could be placed in front of us, that's been placed in front of us over the last 2 years. You know, we anticipated a raid. You know, I guess the judge who issued the order or the search warrant, you know, I'm told he's out in Pasadena now as well at the national championship game, I guess coincidentally. We knew at some point there would be a raid. I was disappointed. I won't say I was nervous. Obviously, I was upset. You know, we've got a $90 million investment here as it stands today, and we're looking to invest in excess of $200 million over the next year and a half. So we're frustrated. You know, I won't say nervous. I'll say frustrated. And again, you made a very, very good point. If the governor would just take us up on our invitation to come view our project, let us show you. We're not bingo. Let us show you the broad scope of our project. Let us show you what it's going to do for the wiregrass region of Alabama, and let us show you how it's not going to cost the taxpayers anything, but instead is going to create a stronger tax base for us to grow as Alabamians, for us to give our children a better education, for us to give our senior citizens better health care. You know, the average hourly worker here is $12 an hour. You know, mid-level and high-level management range from $35,000 a year up to $180,000 a year. So we're not talking about a flim-flam operation here. We're talking about viable employment for the citizens of the Wiregrass. So, you know, I wasn't upset or nervous. I was frustrated. Yeah, we're trying to do something great here for the community, and we're having to fight our governor in the process.